Alright, lesson 3.3 this week has been mostly about translating basic algebraic expressions. Hopefully you found success in working with this material so far. Today what we're going to do is look at some of the tricky words for multiplication. Each, per, of. Each could also be every, but each, per, and of all mean multiply. Typically you'll see them in word problems in such a way that they're kind of hidden from you. That's why I call it the trick words. The trick with each and per is that you must use a meaningful variable. So if we're talking about cats with each or per, so each cat, you want to use the letter C because C could stand for cats. If you're talking about people, you would use the letter P for people. If you're talking about books, you would use B for books, and so on. So again, if you're talking each and per, each day, each person, each book, each cat, each person, per cat, per person, all those questions, all those problems, you want to make sure you use a meaningful variable, because otherwise it's going to cause issues later. So translating real fast for per, first off, $7 per person. What you want to recognize is that this is your multiplication word. It is per person, and so it's 7 times P, which would just be 7P. It's not 7D because it's $7, but again it's per person. So since it's per person, you put the P there. Alright, same thing here, 9 copies per box. It is per box, therefore it's going to be 9B because it's 9 per box. 11 liters per bottle. I guess I didn't get creative with that, but per again is what you're talking about here. It is per bottle, so it's going to be 11B because you're doing 11 times the number of bottles. For example, if 2 people showed up, it should be 7 times 2, $14 if it was $7 per person. If we bought 5 boxes, again 5 boxes, it should be 9 times 5, which would be 45 altogether. If there were 10 bottles, it would be 11 times 10, which would be 110. So again, you want to make sure that that variable is there for per. Each is the same way, it's just worded differently, so be careful. This here we talk about each house has 7 windows, and since it is each house, that is what you're going to use is 7H. It's not about the 7 windows, it's 7 windows per each house. Alright? If you saw this, each adult bought 3 dishes. We're talking each adult, so therefore you're going to put 3A. And then C, each room holds 33 students. It is each room, so you would do 33R. Okay, so again, same game for both. Per person, so use a P. Per box, use a B. Per bottle, use a B. Each house, use a H. Each adult, use a A. Each room, use an R. Again, just keep that game in mind as you're working through that. The word of is the hardest to identify because it really doesn't catch your attention until you look for it. Of is typically used for fractions. It might take a moment to get used to typing your answer on MathXL, but again, be patient if you are asked if you have issues. So when you see of, it'll look like this: 1/2 of a number C. Notice how I kind of read that. 1/2 of a number C. I barely even read the word of, but in this case, I have 1/2 and C, and so what you do is you put 1/2 as a fraction, and on your computer you must arrow to the right to put your C beside it. It should not be 1C/2. It should not be 1/2C. It should be 1/2 with a C right beside that line, and you want to make sure you do it that way or MathXL is going to mark you wrong. So again, we'll talk about that in just a second. 3/7 of a number M. Again, in this situation, you're looking at a fraction, you're looking at M, and you have a word here that you don't always see. 3/7 of a number M. So that would be 3/7, and M getting multiplied should go right beside that line. Make sure you write it that way. I do not suggest that you write 3/7 that way because when you put the M here, it looks like the M is down here with the 7. When you write fractions in algebra, it should be a flat line, number right beside it. 2/9 of a number V. 2/9 of a number V. So that would be, again, 2/9 is your fraction. Of means you're going to multiply 2/9 times V, so you put your 2/9 here, arrow out, and put the V right beside where it is. Alright? So again, with MathXL, if you're doing a fraction, nothing shows up when there's nothing in that box. So what you want to do is click inside that box, and then you bring this up. The thing you'll have to remember is after you hit that button, and you hit the button and the little 2 boxes come up, and you put your 3 and your 9, you must hit the arrow right in your keyboard to put your X over there or whatever you need to put over there. Alright? So again, click the button to create a fraction, just arrow out to put the variable next to the fraction. Again, be patient, don't be afraid to ask for help. I am here when you need me. Good luck on today's work, and I'll talk to you later.